Welcome back. We will be looking at another tool that is available to be used in terms of driving performance of not for profit organizations, which is referred to as league tables or benchmarking. It's essentially comparing one organization with the other. So, let's say, for example, you have a network of government funded hospitals across the different cities and provinces of your country, all of them government funded. So, if you build a table with important measures that you're using to measure performance, maybe the number of doctors, number of nurses, number of patients, patient deaths, a number of patients treated, number of medications issued. You come up with critical measures that are reflective of good performance or performance itself, and then you build a ranking table. Then that is what we call a league table. Now, when you say that, sometimes people don't believe, okay, is it that simple? Yes, it is that simple. I can give you an example. So, if you think, if I show it this way, I think it might be more clearer. So, these are the league tables of the group stage of the FIFA World Cup 2022. As you can see, each of the countries are being pitted against each other, and a ranking is being assigned based on the metrics that you see here: matches played, won, defeated, lost, etc., etc., drawn, loss, etc. So you get the idea. You have the metrics. Based on those metrics, you assign a ranking, and that ranking um, is displayed, and it's even communicated sometimes. So this is a simple comparison, simple ranking. Something like what we do in kindergarten or when we are growing up in school. Now, this does have a lot of advantages because it can stimulate competition, and it can help adopt organizations adopt best practice because they will be competing. So they will see, what can I learn from them. A lot of quality practices get promoted with these kind of efforts. This monitors and ensures accountability of the providers. It Relative performance is easily compared because you're pitching one against the other, and performance is generally transparent because you won't like build a league table and keep it to yourself. It will be generally communicated because rankings are things that people like to see. League tables tend to be readily available and so can be used by consumers also to make choices. And many different areas of performance can be summarized into one weighted average score, resulting in ease of use and acts as a focus for operational and strategic improvement. So you can come up with different categories, maybe customer satisfaction, operational efficiency, donor fund management. You can come up with groups of things under which you can have multiple KPIs. You can calculate the rankings or scores, weighted average them, assign it to the main group, use that main result as the basis of ranking, and build a league table. So these are the advantages. However, there are issues. Of course, it can lead to dysfunctional behavior because the targets may not be aligned, and people might not really be willing to accept those targets. And sometimes managers may just pursue those targets instead of looking at the overarching objectives of the organizations. It only measures relative performance or in relation to one another, doesn't mean that the number one is the best. So you can always have concerns like that. The number one spot is relative to the others, doesn't mean that it is the best. If you compare maybe the number one hospital in your country with the number one hospital in another country, maybe the gap is way big or really wide. Differences between the organizations in the league table: public sector organizations, they're not identical, so the comparison may be actually invalid. Rankings might actually be a little problematic. How to assign the rankings, there may be subjective opinions that affect the rankings, etc. There may be challenges for some of the low ranking, depending on the location, depending on access, depending on the quality of people that work there, etc., depending on population, which really put them down. So those are uncontrollable factors. The quality of information will be dependent on the quality of data used to arrive at the weighted score. So end of the day, you have to understand that your final results are only as good as the quality of raw data, raw information that you use. Poor results may have a negative impact on the public trust and employee morale, and it may lead to users switching to alternative providers. So this is the issue with making things transparent. So have to be a little careful. Encourages providers to focus on performance measures, and benchmarking will not lead to improvements if pressure is not exerted by stakeholders. Just because you display the rankings might not work. if they choose to disregard it. There might be requirements in leadership in exerting some pressure of taking it seriously. The exercise can be very costly and time consuming, and overall, if the cost benefit analysis of producing a league table is not worthwhile, the cost is greater than the perceived benefit, then it might not actually be something worthwhile looking at. And it could also encourage creative reporting, because end of the day, performance has to be reported for it to be used in the league table. And those reports that are being produced by each entity, there might be doctoring and manipulations and changes. So these are the challenges that we might face as far as the league tables or benchmarking or pitching organizations with each other is concerned. On that note, I'll see you in the next segment. Thank you and good luck.